Hello, my eyes. I clear my throat. My name's Jake Allen Graham. I'm reviewing Tom Holland's Spider-Man run. That's the one was Spider-Man Homecoming to Spider-Man No Way Home. The third installment was Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Before I give any of my comments and my before I give any of my comments on the, other than the final verdict, I'm going to basically just give the final verdict before giving my, share my thoughts on the movies. I give all three Spider-Man movies, Homecoming I give, 8 out of 10. Far From Home, I give a 8 out of 10. The third one, No Way Home, 8 out of 10. I give all three installments a 8 out of 10. In the trilogy of Spider-Man, Tom Holland's trilogy. And, there's a little bit of a problem with the oopsie with Spider-Man in the Spider-Man trilogy, and this is Spider-Man himself. And I think I know what it is. A lot of people say that, he feels like a Tony Stark Jr. until like Spider-Man, until it feels like a rip-off version of Tony Stark because he's handed all this tech. I don't think he quite feels like Tony Stark Jr. Really. Like, you know, there's people online calling him Iron Boy Lad or Iron Boy something or Spider Boy something or Iron Man something it took me 3 times to figure out what was the problem with Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. It's Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I feel like Tom Holland's Spider-Man in all 3 installments doesn't know if it wants to be a parody of Spider-Man or adaptation of Spider-Man. So which is the best mess of a parody of a Spider-Man that's most unintentionally laughable? Well, that's the third installment, No Way Home. The one I took the most seriously and the one that I laughed the least at it, the product itself for being a mess, would be the sequel Far From Home with Mysterio. That's the one with Mysterio's the villain. Yes, I think that's a better movie than Homecoming. Well, one thing that each installment did do right as it went on, as the movie franchise went on, is that it didn't know how to higher the stakes and make the villains more menacing as the franchise went on. But, I feel like while other things improved, Peter Parker himself, Spider-Man, never did improve into the role of Spider-Man. Now, I don't think it's Holland's this I don't think is on Holland's, because sometimes he's given good Spider-Man. Sometimes he sounds like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but other times, like, you know, they go for like this you know how Marvel, like, is known for doing drama and jokes at the same time? Including with the deaths of Aunt May in the third installment? How they played out, it feels like a joke. Well, that's the problem with Spider-Man, all of his movies in a nutshell by Tom Holland's run. They feel like they don't know what they want to be, though they feel like this can be a confusing vision, mess for the audience to really get on board for this version of Spider-Man, because this version of Spider-Man is desperate. I never seen a more desperate Spider-Man, so desperate enough to try to win over every fan base of Spider-Man fans. And what did that do in the long run? Kind of drove a lot more people away. I mean, yeah, like, a lot of people said that the third one's the great Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man 3 was Tom Holland's, but that's mostly because of the crossover events with Spider-Man. A lot of people don't want to admit that the first two Tom Holland Spider-Man films are less of a mess and less amounts of characters in the movies compared to the third one. The third one is basically what was that? How do I change that? Hang on. Okay, I got that back. The third one is basically a convoluted mess. Spider-Man No Way Home is a, well, the third one in the sequels and all the Homecoming trilogy was Holland's. It's like this whole mash movies. I will admit there are some cool ideas with the when it comes to there are some cool good ideas with that they do with Spider-Man and his villains. Like, I've liked the fact that this movie introduced, like, his franchise introduced the web wings in live action and made use of the web wings, and also they made use of the expressive eyes making their thing, and thanks to the MCU getting the rights back to Marvel, but giving a very mediocre Spider-Man that's so desperate to please everybody for every fan base. And then, in conclusion, this Spider-Man feels like it's kind of lacking this Spider-Man Tom Holland is the one he plays, feels like it's kind of lacking identity. Because I don't know what the Spider-Man is, what the Spider-Man really stands for, or what the Spider-Man's personality is. He's not really, a brooding angst like Maguire, or a, Spider-Man, or a, more of a sarcastic dickhead like Spider-Man is known for being the 616 comics and Ultimate Comics. Is known for insulting the villains and making it funny for the reader. So he's not that Spider-Man like Andrew was trying to play. So he's trying to play a hybrid between Andrews and the phoniest of Maguire. He's trying I feel like Holland's trying to create trying to borrow both from both past incarnations of Spider-Man. One, like, it feels like he's trying to borrow like the from his performance, trying to borrow from a bit from Maguire and a bit from Andrews, to a point he comes across like kind of forgetful with Spider-Man. And so Spider-Man's presence on screen and out of the costume as Peter Parker and as Spider-Man in all third installments, we never really get to see their worlds collide, of the identities of Spider-Man and Peter Parker colliding and seeing his luck run out while trying to save the world and stuff, like Spider-Man's known for being in the comics in his high school days and his college days and throughout the history. Known for doing that known for that Parker bad luck he has. Like, whenever a good thing happens to Peter, bad thing will happen to Spider-Man. A good thing will happen to Spider-Man, a bad thing will happen to Peter's persona. I think that the sequel, Spider-Man Far From Home, showed the Parker luck highlighted the best and made me feel the most sympathy for Peter by the end of the movie. But the only one problem I had with that movie is that Peter never wanted to be Spider-Man in the second installment for some reason, after coming back from getting blip due to the events of Endgame. And it's kind of not really explained why he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. He just, for some reason, just wants to get away from it, but it's not really explained. Other than he has a crush on MJ and wants to tell her how he feels about her and not really do Spider-Man shit anymore. It's not really explained because the whole thing with the first Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, is that this variation of adaptation of Peter Parker seems to love being Spider-Man more than anything. And is a bit of addicted to it. And kind of wants to be that hero. And ends up becoming a bigger hero by the end of by the end of Homecoming. And kind of does this weird thing and putting down the promotional becoming Avenger. Because he thought it was a test, but nobody told him the truth that it wasn't a test. He literally turned down the Avenger opportunity. Like a dumbass. And this is another problem with this, the Holland Spider-Man. You see, the Holland, you know how Matthew Broderick and Inspector Gadget seem to, #1 joke of Inspector Gadget coming across as this incompetent dumbass, and Matthew Broderick looking like the clueless look on his face? Like, I don't want to say that this comes across a bit like Matthew Broderick's Inspector Gadget if it made 3 installments with Inspector Gadget, but that's what this movie franchise feels like. And that's why I give Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man Trilogy a 8 out of 10 score. Bye. Subscribe. Hit the like. Feel free to comment below. And, subscribe. Bye.